Hello friends, I'm Kayla and this is the third year of the Buzzword Reading Challenge. I almost called it a readathon. It started out as a readathon years ago, a couple times a year. It was a brief time in history that has developed into being a reading challenge. So this is the third year. The first year I gave a list of prompts. Half of them were specific words every month. Am I explaining this well? Hold on. Listen, my mind is organized, but my mouth is not. Okay, the Buzzwordathon Reading Challenge is a 12-month a year. That's how many months there are in a year. It's a year-long reading challenge. There are 12 prompts. You can do this however you want. I've said before, this is the first year. I'm just showing you an example. But I've said time and time again, I'm not policing this readathon. I don't care how you fulfill the prompts. The first year was a 50-50 split between, like, sometimes I would give a specific word, sometimes I would give a theme of words. And then after that, last year, it was almost exclusively themes, but there was one or two word-specific ones because the whole point of this challenge is to look at book titles and see what words are really popular, more common than they used to be. And it is supposed to be a challenge. So you read one of the words every single month. You can read them in the month allotted or not. A lot of people make content around it, tag Instagram pictures. It's very fun for me to follow along, even though I don't really participate myself. So this time I've made it like a 7 and 5 split between themes and word specific ones, because I do like it to be a challenge. Maybe you can't find some of the words on your bookshelves and you need to scour the internet, look at book lists, go to your library and find things you may not have already planned to read. Maybe you've never heard of these books. Anyway, I'm here to share the prompts with you, give you some examples. Maybe you can pull out your pen and pencil, pull up your Goodreads, get a TBR going, put it in the comments below. Thank you so much to everybody who's participated in the past and my channel members for giving suggestions and narrowing down the prompts. So starting in January, we're kicking it off with life, but also death. It's the fresh start of a new year. Maybe you want to read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, Real Life by Brandon Taylor, I would recommend. Or you can read about death, the death of Ivagoji, the death of Jane Lawrence, some of my personal favorites, Mrs. Death, Mrs. Death, and Death in Her Hands, or even The Afterlife of Holly Chase. I will accept words like dead, lives, living, but this one is word specific, not theme specific. I don't want to see kill. I don't want to see birth. I do not want to see birth. If I were building a TBR, looking at my Goodreads, maybe I would read When Life Gives You Vampires. Is that good? Let me know. Do I look like the girl on the cover? Iconic. Or maybe briefly A Delicious Life. Let me know what you'll be reading, or let me know recommendations. Maybe make 2 comments. One with your list of recommendations, one with your TBR. Next is February. February, I put verbs. Let me make sure I know what a verb is. Okay, great. It's an action word. Back in November, we did the prompt ing, which, like, a lot of verbs will have ing, but they don't have to have ing. So maybe you already read killing, but now you can read words like crept, when the trees crept in, or hide, or follow, meter ground. If I were building a TBR, because this is February's pick, guess what comes out in February? Finley Donovan Jumps the Gun. Other verbs: run, dance, give, go, do. This is probably the most open and easy one to accomplish. In March, my birthday month, I have chosen secret. This one is word specific, but obviously you can include like secretive, secrets plural, secretitious. Secretion? No, don't do that. Secretly, listen, if you have a book on your TBR with secrete in it, I mean, live your best life. I feel like you can find secret in lots of different genres. So All Her Little Secrets, if you didn't read this for the book club last year, pick it up. The Husband's Secret, The Secret History. If I was building a TBR, I would include The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. Maybe you want to read The Secret Garden. This might be hard to find, but I know you can do it. Moving on to April, it's emotions. I'm very excited about this one because you can read happy, but you can also read sad and angry. I feel like I will also open this up to emotion adjacent words. So like maybe you want to read So Happy for You, which I recommend, but you might also read the word smile instead of happy because that's related to being happy. Such a pretty smile. Maybe you want to read about sorrow with Sorrowland or something related to sorrow. Tear. It's actually tear, but that's okay. Maybe spite. Is spite an emotion? That one I'm leaving up to your discretion. Why is that one more loose, yet the first one is very rigid? I don't know. Moving on to May. This is my favorite. And I don't know how I want to explain it. I'm gonna call it flavors, but it's also like, I didn't want to do a food prompt because food is just too simple, but this also does encompass food. I'm thinking herbs, seasonings, spices. I want you to get creative. I just really wanted an excuse to read a bunch of books with salt in the title. So I would recommend a dash of salt and pepper, maybe of women and salt. I feel like sugar should be included. 2 parts sugar, 1 part murder, but also honey. Honey is a flavor. Also apples and mangoes. If you can take this ingredient and make it a flavor, like if you can call it a flavor of ice cream, a flavor of chips, then you can count it. So like pasta is a food, not a flavor. Mustard is a food and a flavor. Dill is a food and a flavor. Ginger, sage, thyme, vanilla, strawberry, lemon, basil, pizza? I'm sorry, the fact that you let me dictate the books that you're gonna read based on this unhinged list is just very funny. June is other. Other is the buzzwordiest buzzword. And now I said I'm not gonna police the readathon, but I did see someone comment and say like, okay, well, I can also include other because it's inside the word mother and brother. And I think no. The way that my mind works is it's about the type of word being a trend. It's not about finding the specific correct letters. It's about like what is trendy in book titles. So I would be more likely to accept a word like additional if you can't find a book with other than mother in place of other. Here are some ideas. The smell of other people's houses, her body and other parties, the other people, the other black girl. Highly recommend Whites on Race and Other Falsehoods, and then a ton of anthologies. Pick up an anthology, do it, you'll love it. Have other, because it'll be, well, this one specifically is Other Terrors, but then there's ones that are The Way Spring Arrives and Other Stories. And Other Stories is on so many short story collections, especially if they're just from one author, because there will often be a titular story. So good luck with that one. July is weather. This one is definitely more open. Now, if you want to choose the word weather specifically, do that. We Are the Weather, recommend it. Maybe your word is going to be storm, midnight storm, moonless sky, or trail of lightning, or still life with tornado. Another type of weather, snow, moon of the crusted snow, another high recommendation. High recommendation? Another one that's high on my recommendation list for you. But also, if you want to choose something that's not specifically rain, snow, hail, I will accept sun, sunshine, clouds, sky if you must, because that is where the weather occurs. I might be okay with wind. Now we've got August, which was a highly suggested one, and it's body parts. I feel like this one will be easy to fulfill regardless of the genre that you read, because there are body parts everywhere. Might I recommend flesh and skin? We've got tender as the flesh and the skin we're in. 5 stars for me. Their eyes were watching God, another 5 star. If I was building a TBR, perhaps Mouthful of Birds would be a good one for me. Maybe Bones with the rattled bones. I'm sure there's lots of books with body. Ooh, Her Body and Other Parties. That works for me. Heart is everywhere. My Heart is a Chainsaw. Our Missing Hearts. That's the vibe for August, nice and easy. September is my other favorite, and it's game related words. Game itself is on a lot of titles that I've seen lately. The Lying Game, Small Game. There's also words like player or maze that I think work. Even war and tiles, because this is about Scrabble. If you've got something with the word card, or even all of the card suits like clubs, spades, diamonds, heart. Maybe you'll read heart 2 months in a row. And even words like first and last, if we're thinking about a race, a competition, lose, win. Sorry, I didn't say the whole titles. Ace of Spades, The Last Housewife, A Phoenix Must First Burn, and This Is How You Lose the Time War. I can't wait to hear the words that you come up with that are game related that I haven't even thought of. Okay, and then O. I want to give you magic, and so I am challenging you to find a book with magic in the title. Magic for Liars, Magic Lies and Deadly Pies. On my TBR, perhaps I will be reading A Far Wilder Magic, but I know this word is a little too specific, so if you must go outside of magic, I think magic related words are fine. So if you want to do witch, The Year of the Witching, The Nature of Witches, I would recommend something like conjure, maybe spell, maybe charm. It's okay by me, but I would like to see if you can find magic. And then November is another specific word, and it's good. Good is everywhere right now. We've got The Good House, highly recommend. For Your Own Good, highly recommend. The Only Good Indians, highly recommend. On my TBR, I've got The Good Wife of Bath. Will I accept words that contain good? Yes, because I feel like they're all related to good, like goodness. Goodbye is like a positive. Goodwill, goodies, I don't know. It's not like the other debacle. Anyway, moving on to December. It's already December. And it is sound related words. I really like this one too. So here's what I'm thinking. Words like noise, a noise downstairs, a song below water. I know song is everywhere, but I feel like song is a little specific to use just by itself because it mostly exists in like fantasy from what I've seen, but I know song is very trendy. So if you want to do song, do song. The first book in this series also has song in the title, but this one has silence, a psalm of storms and silence. You could also do words like quiet, noisy, loud, whisper, shout. Ring shout would be a good one. And then even noises themselves like cackle. I guess like laugh would count. Sneeze would count. Is there a book with sneeze in the title? The fact that I have to keep that sneeze in to make that clip make sense, and everyone's about to see me sneeze. Oh, there's a little, like a Mr. and Mrs. book called Mr. Sneeze. Oh my gosh, I just remembered the first time I did this, I built a TBR with Liam's TBR. Oh my gosh, do this for your kids. That'd be so fun. So I'm gonna have printables. There's one in color and one in white. So if you want to print it out, you don't have to use all of the ink, and then you can check it off or write in the things as you go. I also am going to try to remember to make a story where you can put a picture of the book cover instead of just typing out the title, because I know some people prefer that. So that will all be linked down below and also in my Instagram stories if you want to screenshot. Though the dimensions of my phone make my stories not translate to other people's phones properly dimensionally, but we'll figure it out. Those are the 12 prompts. I wish you the best of luck completing it. I can't wait to hear your recommendations if you want to look through the comments and see what other people are mentioning if you're stuck on a certain prompt. I'm sure the people below will be extremely helpful. And thank you so much for watching and participating, and I'm looking forward to seeing your updates throughout the year of your accomplishments.